You can come in here.
Hey guys, welcome to Wild Hope Homestead. This is the next part of our South Island holiday adventure, in which we are in and around Alexandra, which is a beautiful place to visit. On our first day in Alexandra, we went for a drive around with our friends to explore some of the sites. First we went to Lower Mannaburn Dam. There are a bunch of dams in central Otago as well, and irrigation channels. Alexandra is actually the driest place, or the place with the least rainfall in New Zealand. Then we drove up a bit further along the dam lake. Next we headed up a steep hill. We didn't know where we were going, we were just following our friends to Alexandra Lookout, which was an amazing view, looking down over the town and the land around. One of the things that I love about Alexandra and some of the other places nearby, there's a lot of just wild thyme growing around. Originally escapees from the settlers, the climate really suits it, so it's just taken off and it smells so nice walking around on these high hills with the thyme everywhere. Then we drove to Flat Top Hill Conservation Area, where there's a walk that you can do. We just did a small part of it because it was a bit much for Scarlett at that point. But it was a beautiful spot, even though it was really cold that day and the weather was just lightly raining at that point, but it was looking like it was going to get worse. We went off on some more adventures with just our family. We went back and made our lunch and then drove to Fruitlands to visit an old historic building called Mitchell's Cottage, where we ate our lunch. It's a beautiful old stone building that was built by some Scottish brothers who came over for the gold rushes. Hello! They started building it in the 1880s, but it actually took them 20 years to finish it. It is a little bit out of the way, being a reasonable way up the hill and there isn't much else around it. So it must have been a bit of a mission to get it built. Whoa. Another old room in here. I'm going to do some cooking. It may seem small by today's standards, but one of the brothers and his wife somehow fitted themselves and 10 children in there. then we went in a completely different direction because there were lots of things that we wanted to see, and we were just trying to fit as much as we could into this particular day since the weather was nice. We headed up State Highway 85 to Chatto Creek. There's not much there, but there's a historic tavern, which is a fun place to hang out. They have a very old tiny post office, a couple of farm animals, a playground, and we just arrived at the end of the live music. Then we carried on to Ophir. We were going to try to go up to St. Bathans to see some of the historic buildings and remnants around there, but Steve found a cool bridge and we found ourselves in Ophir.
Yeah, here's the little bridge.
This is a cool bridge. This is like the best bridge ever. This is not actually where we're going. We just thought it was cool. Which was quite a happy occurrence because there was a street full of old historic buildings, which I love. You can come in here.
I guess this was an old mining town. Yep, pitches store. Bones and pitchforks.
We found our way down to a river where we spent quite a while playing around and finding more rocks than were necessary.
Look at this big one.
And then we drove back through the main street past the historic buildings again. It was very quiet around there. It was actually really, really nice. It was so peaceful and quiet. after that we headed back to our friend's place. We also caught up with Steve's parents for dinner because they were actually in the South Island on a kind of last minute holiday, which turned into quite a long holiday in the South Island. So we got to have dinner with them and that was really nice. Standing too close. So close. Thanks for joining us in today's vlog, guys. I think the next video might be the last one, if I can fit it all into one. And I'm looking forward to getting back to the normal life videos. I'm sorry, it's taken me quite a while to get all the editing done. We've just had a lot going on and a lot of figuring out with my health issues as well. And so it'll be good to get back to the homesteading stuff, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoy getting to see some of our beautiful country. So choose to grow hope and we'll see you next time. Bye.